Over a 6-year period, Mike Tyson earned an astonishing $600 million. Yet by the time he turned 36, his bank account was completely empty. So how did Tyson end up losing it all? According to him, financial literacy was never something he learned growing up.
I'm a broke background. I never really learned the art of
Earning millions at a young age proved to be a significant challenge for Mike Tyson. After claiming the heavyweight title at just 20 years old, Tyson began earning an average of $7.5 million per fight. This didn't even account for the substantial income from other ventures, over $50 million from casino sponsorships, $3.5 million for a guest spot at WrestleMania, and the blockbuster success of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, which sold 2 million copies in its first year. By 1990, Tyson was recognized as the world's highest-paid athlete, with annual earnings estimated at $28.6 million. However, his trajectory took a sharp turn when he was imprisoned just 2 years later. Between 1992 and his release in 1995, Tyson wasn't able to earn any money. Nonetheless, as CBS highlighted, his financial situation remained far from dire upon his release. Most Indiana prisoners are given $75 in spending money to ease their transition back into society. Tyson needed no such help. The former heavyweight champion had 2 checks each made out to him for $10 million. In the next few weeks, Tyson will get another $12 million for the rights to future fights in television. A few months later, he earned the most money ever given to a boxer, $25 million to fight a stiff named Peter McNeely. In the 2 years following his release, Tyson added another $140 million to his name through 5 fights, creating a sense of financial invulnerability.
money is a false sense of security.
False sense of security. Nothing about it could be a
You feel
real.
invincible with money.
Okay.
You feel like you can't even.
This, coupled with the resentment he carried from his time behind bars, drove Tyson to start recklessly spending his fortune.
Me being poor, never having anything, for me being bitter, angry for being in prison. It stems from a lot of things.
To start with, there was his fascination with cars. As reported by CBS, Tyson's spending on vehicles was legendary. Tyson reportedly bought 110 cars either for himself or as gifts. Among them was a $320,000 Bentley Azure, the most expensive production car in the world. Tyson bought it and ordered 4 more in the space of a few minutes. He had spent more than $1.5 million. In another instance, Tyson showed up at a car dealership just outside New York to buy another car. He bought a Ferrari for $300,000, declining a test drive because he already had one just like it. On yet another occasion, Tyson avoided legal trouble after being pulled over while driving his Rolls-Royce without a license by simply giving the car away.
You know, sir, why don't you just take the car? You know, you deserve it because you've been doing a lot. Because I didn't want to get arrested. I didn't have a license or anything. And I didn't want my wife to get in trouble. I said, why don't you just take it? You know, it wasn't. It was around 230 at the time, and they took it. Fired.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tyson's generosity worked out well for his friend Ed Lover, who received a Bentley from Tyson just so he could have a ride home from a nightclub.
Yeah, take the car. I'm like, okay. He gives me the Bentley. A month go by, I still have this car. He said, I wanted you to have that car. He said, I gave you that car.
To accommodate his massive collection of cars, Tyson invested in multiple mansions across the country, including properties in Las Vegas, Ohio, and Maryland. However, none of these could compare to the extravagant estate he purchased in Connecticut. This sprawling home boasted 21 bedrooms and 35 bathrooms, along with luxurious features like a full nightclub, a private movie theater, a mini casino, a squash court, and a professional-grade gym. The exterior was equally impressive, featuring a full-size basketball court, a swimming pool complete with a grotto, and even a private lake, complete with a lake house and a fountain, all spread across a vast 17.6-acre property. If the estate seems familiar, it's because Tyson eventually sold it to 50 Cent, who later referred to it as the worst financial decision he ever made.
What was the most, like, when you wasted money?
The Tyson crib was like that.
Primarily due to the exorbitant costs of maintaining the property.
How much was the upkeep, guesstimate per year?
About $700,000.
Tyson elaborated on this in another interview.
It's going to cost him $25,000 just to mow the.
Tyson's spending habits became increasingly extravagant, especially when considering the upkeep of his multiple properties. The cost of maintaining the gardens alone amounted to $100,000, though the gardener's salary was a minor expense in comparison to the other lavish purchases Tyson made for his homes. As a gift for his first wife, Robin, Tyson splurged on a solid gold bathtub that cost $2.2 million, but their marriage ended in divorce less than a year later, leaving Tyson with an additional $10 million in legal fees and settlements. He also spent $410,000 on a birthday celebration and $140,000 on 2 white Bengal tigers. These tigers required a custom-built enclosure, $200,000 worth of food annually, and their own animal trainer, which Tyson hired for $125,000 a year. In addition, Tyson had to pay $250,000 in compensation to a friend who was bitten by one of the tigers. However, that wasn't his only costly bite. In 1997, during a fight with Evander Holyfield head-butted Tyson, who in retaliation bit a portion of Holyfield's ear off. Tyson was disqualified and fined $3 million. It seemed that Tyson hadn't learned from this, as he later bit Lennox Lewis's leg during a press conference, leading to another $335,000 fine. Tyson's lavish lifestyle extended to his staff, employing over 200 individuals, including chefs, chauffeurs, and bodyguards. One of the more unusual hires was a man called Crocodile, whose sole function was to dress in fatigues and repeatedly shout "guerrilla warfare" at Tyson's news conferences, for which he was paid $300,000 in 1996. In yet another example of his over-the-top generosity, Tyson once walked into a nightclub and offered to pay for everybody's drinks all night.
Mike calls me over again. Ed, come here. I go, what's up, Mike? Tell the DJ I got the bar until the club closed. I said, what are you talking about? I'm buying the bar out. Everybody can have whatever they want.
Yet, there was one final cost that surpassed all the others.
Do you regret anything?
Yeah, and I didn't pay taxes really at that time.
That'll get you, yeah.
In 2003, it was revealed that Tyson was deep in debt, owing a staggering $13.4 million to the IRS, $117,000 to 5 different states, and $4 million to UK tax authorities. Things only continued to spiral downward from there. It turned out that many of Tyson's extravagant purchases had been made on credit, leading to an additional $27 million in debt to various businesses. This included $600,000 to a law firm, $500,000 to his financial manager, and $800,000 to a former trainer, all piled on top of the financial burden from a second divorce. Tyson owes money to at least 246 creditors, including the Internal Revenue Service, the Screen Actors Guild, and dozens of doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Tyson owes his ex-wife Monica Turner almost $9 million from their divorce, and he hasn't paid $19.4 million in taxes to the IRS, Great Britain, and 5 states. Which was an extra large problem, as Tyson was down to his last $1,250 in cash. Tyson, 38, said all of his houses have been sold or seized, and he owns only one car, albeit a white Hummer SUV, newly purchased and apparently not yet paid for, according to bank records Tyson's attorney submitted to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Tyson earned $38 during January. His living expenses during that month were more than $47,000. Tyson was completely overwhelmed by his financial mess, but he came up with a plan to try to resolve his situation. Tyson's reorganization plan is ambitious. He hopes to earn at least $19.5 million from boxing over the next 3 years to help satisfy his creditors. However, things didn't unfold as Tyson had hoped. He lost his next 2 fights, ultimately retiring from boxing and filing for bankruptcy. At that time, he stated, "My whole life has been a waste. I've been a failure. I just want to escape. I'm really embarrassed with myself and my life. I want to be a missionary. I think I could do that while keeping my dignity without letting people know. They chase me out of the country. I want to get this part of my life over as soon as possible. In this country, nothing good is going to come of me. I'm so stigmatized. There is no way I can elevate myself. I'll never be happy. I believe I'll die alone. I would want it that way. I've been a loner all my life with my secrets and my pain. I'm really lost, but I'm trying to find myself. I'm a really sad, pathetic case." With nothing left to do, Tyson spent his days caring for 350 unique pigeons, a collection he had spent $400,000 on prior to his bankruptcy. He later compared his spending habits to those of a drug addict.
Drugs, you might as well say you have it all, but it's still that empty hole that you're trying to fulfill. You spend as much as you can to try to get that satisfaction, fulfill that hole. It just is bottom.
Despite losing it all, Tyson's life was far from over. The experience of losing everything had provided him with an important lesson.
I know the power of humbleness now.
How did you learn that?
I have to lose everything.
With newfound humility as the foundation for his comeback, Tyson used the lessons from his past to write a book. His life story also became the ideal material for a documentary about his journey. On top of that, he scored a cameo in both The Hangover and The Hangover Part 2, earning $300,000 for his appearances. Through these ventures in media, Tyson managed to buy himself a beautiful new home in Las Vegas, though he made it clear that he would no longer let money define his happiness.
Anybody that thinks a lot of money is going to make them happy, they never had a lot of money.
Because it don't make you happy.
Yeah, oh no, it's going to make you miserable. It can make you hate yourself.
Since then, Mike has created his own highly popular podcast, Hotboxin', and has built a net worth of $10 million. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more incredible content.